Running. That feeling of freedom. That surge of adrenaline. Heart pumping. Legs running. Sweat dripping. Muscles burning. The wind blowing against your face. Almost giving you the feeling like you could fly. But before you can fly, you need to learn how. In this series, we'll let you in on a training program designed to change your conceptual model of what the technique of running is. This is Training Like an Olympic Runner.
Hello everybody, my name is Coach Jason Bean. I'm very excited to be bringing you these lessons. This is Train Like an Olympic Runner. Unit 1, Lesson 1, we are talking about warming up. Okay, we're gonna warm up like an Olympic athlete, so that's gonna be a little different than, just doing some of your basic like straight leg bends and things like that. We're gonna do a dynamic, active warm up. Okay, so the best place to start your dynamic active warm up is by activating muscles. Okay, so let me just tell you that back in the day, we used to think about your muscles as in a singular way, but today we think about our muscles as a kinetic chain. Okay, that is just the notion that our muscles are all affected by one another. Now, some of these factors causing that effect is movement, maybe when you run. It's over or under development, training response, or joint positioning. Let me show you this quickly. Everybody just make your muscle. You see how you make your muscle right here? Now look at this joint, right? If I take this joint as you're holding your muscle and you turn it this way, oh, what happens? The muscle goes away. That's muscle activity. Joint positioning causes muscles to turn on. That's what we're gonna learn in this dynamic active warm-up, okay? So now, using this concept of kinetic chain or a group of muscles, a great place to start your warm-up is by activating your core. Let's take a little time, just a little time to understand the core. Most guys know the core. I can't just say guys, a lot of girls think about that six-pack, right? There's more to it than just the six-pack, but those muscles specifically are called the rectus abdominis, right? But there's other muscles. There's your oblique muscles, and they span the entire length of your torso, and they are essential for any bending or twisting actions, right? We also have the transverse abdominis, and that's buried underneath the other abdominals, the six-pack. It's a thick muscle and it wraps around the torso, and it acts like a girdle or like a human weight belt, and it keeps your spine in good vertical alignment. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we get into the sprint section of these lessons. Now, during the lesson demonstrations or the activity portion of these courses, you're gonna learn a series of exercises, and they're designed to build or strengthen or just activate your core. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna put on some shorts, you're gonna get a timing device, and let's just get ready to get your muscles activated. All right, so here we are. We are doing core activation. What we are seeing here is a front pillar, as I call it, or is commonly called. You might know it as a plank. This is a pretty good plank. Now, what I do want to do is show you what a bad plank is. A bad plank would be kind of arched in the sky, kind of like you're seeing now. We don't want to have that. Another bad way to do this is just kind of be sunk down. Again, what we want is a straight line almost from the back of the head to your heels. And what I'm going to ask you to do is go ahead and hold that for 30 seconds. Okay? Now every 5 seconds or so, I want you to kind of readjust that positioning. Here's a couple of tips. I want you to have your feet together. Don't have your feet spread out. If you feel like you are too strong for this, or you are a little bit more advanced than this, then we'll go ahead and let you add some motions into it. Next thing I want to show you with the front pillar is extending the opposite arms. We'd call this front pillar prone opposites. So here, as you see, I have my right hand extended and my left foot extended. If you're feeling advanced, you're gonna do this for 30 seconds, switching this position every 5 or 6 seconds. Now, the next series that we're gonna do is a side pillar. I like to call them outside pillars because there's a lot of variations that we do built off of this. Again, the focus is good posture, and I'm really thinking about posture in the hips. Really easy way to think about this is if you're doing a side pillar just along a wall, you want to have the back of your head and your heels all lined up with the wall, nice straight line. Okay, so again, you're going to see my hand go straight up to the sky. I want you to do that because I want your hips to follow that line. Hips will follow your hands in this position. Don't let yourself kind of lean over forward. Don't let your body be in a C position. Okay, we want to be totally straight. And look at my ankles. I want you to have dorsiflexed ankles because this is going to be a very good habit when we start sprinting. I like to bring that up, right? So this is a side pillar or an outside pillar, okay? Now, one of the changes or the alternatives to this, again, if you are strong, is adding the motions to it. One of the big motions that we like to add to outside or side pillar bridge is just a flexion, a hip flexion, almost in the position like you're running. And we'll do that for 6 seconds, and we'll just extend the leg out for 6 seconds, still trying to maintain very good posture in your hips. The other thing that we would like to do in core activation is a rear pillar bridge. Now this one is very tough. Make sure that you start small with this, right? Start easy, I should say. We want to have your feet relatively close together, ankles dorsiflex. You're gonna feel like your shoes are falling off. If you do, you're doing it right. And you're just gonna try to have everything aligned. I want your elbows aligned with your shoulders, head straight. So it'll actually feel like your head is back. Don't tilt that chin, don't tuck the chin to the chest, right? Hips to the sky, 30 seconds, hold there. Now, if you are one of those people who are you're just strong in this region, go ahead and add leg lifts to this. Alternate your leg lifts every 6 seconds, but again, we're gonna do this for 30 seconds. Go ahead and do that. Pause the video and come back when you're ready. Another thing though, this is a really big challenge. I want to make sure that you guys get, a soft surface, maybe some grass. You see me here, I'm doing this on a track. Very difficult to do, even harder to do on a hot day. But what you're trying to do is actually 4 exercises. You're circling, you're on one foot. If your right foot is extended, you'll circle towards that right foot that is extended or elevated off the ground. And then you'll go the opposite way. And then you will extend and elevate the other foot. Circle towards that foot and then circle away from it. Maintaining a nice straight back from the back of your head all the way down through the heels, kind of sinking the hips in. The same correctness for the front pillar bridge goes for this. Make sure you're not really arched. Make sure you're not really drooping your hips down. Okay, very easy here. I love this one. If anybody's tired, you'll love this series. It's just a circle series. We're gonna roll our neck around. Let's go 5 reps in one direction and 5 reps in the other direction. Make sure your feet are nice and straight. The next circle that you'll do is a trunk circle. Again, feet nice and straight, but you wanna think about bringing your chest all the way down to your knees and then leaning back just as far. Let's do 5 circles clockwise and 5 circles counterclockwise. Or if you're in England, they call it anti-clockwise. That's extra information. we have a hip circle. What we're gonna do here, just like our lunges, if you remember our side lunges, we're gonna kind of lean to the side, one straight leg, bending the knee, trying to keep the trunk relatively straight, and you're just rolling your hips. Let's do 3 clockwise, 3 anti-clockwise. Well, I want to provide you with some extras. I'll call it a caterpillar walk. It's a hand walk. And I try to do at least 6 small steps out with my hands, and I try to get my body down to that extended positioning. And then I'll take 6 small steps with straight legs. I'm just using my toes, and I'm getting into this nice piked position there. And then you also want to do it in reverse. So you're taking 6 small steps backwards and really extending. If it takes more than 6 steps, go ahead and do that. Pushing yourself back up with your hands into that nice pike position, straight legs if you can get it. And then I will do that typically 6 times.